What if the doubt that sabotages your finances today is not your enemy, but a sign, a signal that you are using the wrong map? For years, you have navigated the world with a guide that promises prosperity at the end of a long road of struggle and sacrifice, yet that destination never seems to get closer. The voice of doubt grows louder with every passing year, not because you are failing, but because your soul knows there is a more direct path, a more harmonious way. It is a whisper of truth trying to alert you that the tools you were given were incomplete. That doubt is not a verdict on your worth. It is a compass trying to correct your course, pointing you away from the barren landscape of effort and towards the fertile ground of alignment. There is a code, hidden in plain sight within the timeless wisdom of Proverbs, that does not just attract wealth, but silences that voice of doubt forever. This is not a metaphor or a poetic sentiment. It is a precise formula for mental engineering, a technology of the soul that has been overlooked for centuries, dismissed as mere religious text, when in reality it holds the source code for creating a reality of abundance. When this ancient key is seen through the lens of a master of the mind, like Napoleon Hill, its true power is unlocked. It becomes a practical, repeatable process for rewiring the very foundation of your perception, transforming your inner world so that the outer world has no choice but to follow suit, mirroring your newfound certainty. Today, we will decode this sacred instruction together. We will not simply read the words, we will dissect them, understand their hidden mechanics, and forge them into a tool you can use immediately. This is a journey into the architecture of your own mind. By the end of our time together, you will understand why your hard work has not yielded the results you deserve, and you will possess the master key to change that reality. You will learn how to turn your mind from a battlefield of anxiety and doubt into a silent, powerful generator of prosperity and peace. The answer you have been seeking is not outside of you. It has been waiting within a single powerful line of text for you to finally understand its true meaning. Imagine the feeling of waking up in the dead of night, not from a nightmare, but from the cold grip of reality itself. It is 3 a.m, the house is silent, but your mind is screaming with numbers, deadlines, and obligations. The weight of your financial world presses down on you in the darkness, a physical presence in the room. This is not just worry. It is a deep, soul-level exhaustion from carrying a burden that never seems to get lighter. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, calculating and recalculating, searching for a solution that seems to forever be just out of reach. This silent, lonely battle is one you have fought for more nights than you can count, and it drains the color from the coming day before it even has a chance to dawn. You know that heavy weight in your chest when you open your banking app, don't you? That brief moment of forced optimism, a flicker of hope that maybe this time it will be different, quickly extinguished by the stark, unchanging figures on the screen. It's a quiet moment of profound disappointment, a confirmation of the story you've been living for years. The effort of 40, 50, or even 60 hours of work per week, translated into a number that feels like a fraction of the life force you invested. It's the feeling of pouring your very essence into a container filled with holes, leaving you perpetually empty and wondering if you are the one who is broken, if you missed some vital lesson along the way. You have followed the rules. You have worked hard, been responsible, and shown up day after day, year after year. Yet when you look back at the decades of your labor, a painful question echoes in the quiet moments. Where is the evidence of it all? Where is the security, the peace, the freedom you were told would be the reward for such dedication? You see others moving forward, seemingly with less effort, and a quiet frustration begins to build. It is the deep, nagging feeling that you are running a race with weights on your ankles, while others glide effortlessly towards a finish line you can't even see. This isn't jealousy, it's a profound confusion about the very nature of the game you've been playing so diligently. It's that silent thought that follows you throughout the day, the subtle narrator of scarcity that poisons moments of potential joy. It's the voice that whispers, "You can't afford that," when you see something beautiful you desire. It's the chilling question, what if something goes wrong, when you consider taking even a small risk for a greater future? This internal monologue of lack becomes your default setting, conditioning you to expect hardship and to view every financial decision through the lens of fear rather than opportunity. It is the invisible cage built around your aspirations, keeping you small and safe, but starving your soul for the expansion and freedom it was born to experience. Your dreams become quieted by the constant, humming anxiety of just getting by. Have you ever felt like just a temporary holding station for money? The day the salary arrives brings not a sense of relief, but a fleeting moment of solvency before the great outflow begins. The money flows in, and just as quickly, It flows out to the mortgage, the car payment, the credit card bills, the utilities. It is a relentless cycle of earning only to pay, a treadmill where you run faster and faster just to stay in the same place. There is never enough left over to truly breathe, to invest in yourself, to plant a seed for a future oak tree of wealth. You become an administrator of your own financial survival, not the architect of your prosperity, forever managing debt instead of cultivating abundance. Think about the dreams you once held so clearly in your mind. The travel, the ability to be generous with those you love, the freedom to pursue a passion without worrying about the income it generates. Where have those visions gone? For many, they have been slowly eroded by the harsh reality of the monthly budget, filed away under someday, which has begun to feel synonymous with never. Each compromise, each postponed plan, each time you said no to something your heart desired, a small part of that vibrant future faded. The pain is not just in the absence of wealth. It is in the slow, quiet death of the possibilities you once believed were your destiny. A grief for a life you feel slipping through your fingers. And as the years pass, this anxiety takes on a new, sharper edge. The feeling is no longer just frustration. It is a creeping fear that time is running out. The runway for building a life of security and peace feels shorter than it once did. The thought of retirement, which should be a golden horizon, instead looms like a gathering storm cloud of uncertainty. Will there be enough? Have I done enough? Did I miss my chance? This pressure adds a desperate urgency to the struggle, transforming the quiet worry into a palpable dread about the future. It's the fear that after a lifetime of striving, the final chapter will be one of limitation and dependence, not the freedom and dignity you have worked so hard to earn. If these feelings resonate with you, understand this: you are not alone, and your struggle is not a reflection of your inadequacy. You have been playing a game with a rulebook designed to keep you running in place. The frustration, the anxiety, and the fear you feel are the natural consequences of a flawed philosophy, a mental programming that has been passed down through generations. The weight you feel is real, the exhaustion is justified, and the sense that something is fundamentally wrong is the most accurate perception you have. It is the first sign that you are ready to awaken to a different truth, a new way of operating that exists beyond the world of mere effort. For your entire life, you have been fed a single pervasive philosophy, a doctrine of wealth so common that it has become invisible, accepted as unquestionable truth. You were taught that the path to prosperity is paved with grueling effort and brutal sacrifice. Work more hours than anyone else, they said. Save every single cent, for a rainy day is surely coming. Sacrifice the joys of the present for the security of a distant future. This set of instructions, this gospel of perpetual struggle, is the true enemy. It is not a person or a system, but a deeply ingrained mental program that has held you captive. It is a philosophy that promises freedom tomorrow in exchange for your vitality today, a transaction that consistently fails to deliver on its promise, leaving you exhausted and no closer to your goal. The fundamental flaw in this programming, the reason it generates more anxiety than wealth, is that it is built upon a foundation of fear and lack. Its energy is entirely negative. When you focus on saving for a rainy day, you are mentally and emotionally rehearsing for disaster, programming your subconscious mind to expect and attract financial storms. When you believe you must work harder, you are affirming a belief that your being is not enough, that your value is measured only in hours of toil. This entire mindset forces you to broadcast a frequency of scarcity into the universe. And the universe, in its impersonal wisdom, can only reflect back to you the energy you consistently project. The enemy is a system of belief that keeps you looking for what is wrong, and therefore that is all you are ever able to find. This is where we must draw a line in the sand. You have been walking the path of effort, believing it was the only one that existed. It is a path of resistance, of pushing a boulder uphill, believing that the summit will bring relief only to find another, steeper hill waiting for you. But there is another way, a path that is not about more doing, but about a different way of being. This is the path of alignment. It is the art of tuning the frequency of your inner world, your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, to match the frequency of the abundance you wish to experience externally. It is the shift from chasing wealth to becoming a magnet for it. To step onto this new path, you must first be willing to accept that the old map you were given leads nowhere you truly wish to go. Now that we have dismantled the flawed programming of the world, a space has been created within you, a void, waiting to be filled not with another complex strategy, but with a simple, foundational truth. The key to the path of alignment, the master algorithm for manifesting prosperity, was not forged in the crucible of modern self-help or financial theory. It has been waiting patiently for millennia, etched into a sacred text, disguised by its own profound simplicity. It is a single sentence that holds the power to completely re-engineer your financial destiny from the inside out. This is not a piece of advice to be considered. It is a spiritual law to be wielded. It is the compass that points directly to the treasure you seek, a treasure that has always been within you, waiting for the correct code to be entered. That code is found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7. Listen to these words, not with your ears, but with your soul. For as he has imagined in his soul, so is he. Let that sink in. This is not poetry. It is physics. It is the most direct, elegant, and powerful statement of mental engineering ever written. It is the source code of your reality. It does not say, as he works, so is he, or as he wishes, so is he. It declares with absolute finality that your external reality, your health, your relationships, and yes, your bank account is nothing more than a perfect holographic reflection of the images you hold and energize within the deepest part of your being, which the ancients called the soul. This single ancient decree is the nucleus around which the entire philosophy of Napoleon Hill revolves. Hill's monumental life's work was a modern-day quest to scientifically validate and create a practical methodology for this divine law. Every principle he ever taught, from the definite chief aim to autosuggestion to the mastermind, was simply a tool, a technique designed to help an individual consciously and deliberately apply the law stated in Proverbs 23:7. Hill did not invent the secret to wealth. He was a master decoder of it. He took this sacred, timeless key and forged it into a set of practical instructions for the 20th century mind. He proved that this was not a matter of faith alone, but a repeatable process with predictable, powerful results. Let us now begin the sacred work of decoding this law. The first and most critical component lies in the words, imagined in his soul. The ancient writers chose this phrase with divine precision. This is not the idle, fleeting daydreaming that occupies the undisciplined mind. The act of imagining, in this context, is a focused, deliberate, and creative power. It is the verb of creation itself. It is the faculty you share with the Creator, the ability to form a complete, detailed, and vibrant blueprint in the non-physical realm before it ever manifests in the physical. This is your divine inheritance, the tool with which all things are first brought into existence. To imagine in the soul elevates this act beyond mere visualization. The soul is the seat of your deepest emotions and your most profound beliefs. Therefore, to imagine in the soul means to construct your mental image and then infuse it with the powerful energy of emotion. You must feel the reality of your creation before you can see it. You must experience the gratitude, the joy, the peace, and the security of your fulfilled desire as if it is already your present reality. Without this emotional charge, the image is just a lifeless sketch. With it, it becomes a living, magnetic seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe, commanding the resources needed for its growth. This is the very essence of what Napoleon Hill called a definite chief aim. A wish is a weak, vague signal sent out into the cosmos. I want more money is a wish. It has no power because it lacks specificity and emotional conviction. A definite chief aim, however, is a decree. It is a precise, detailed statement of what you intend to create, backed by a burning obsession and an unwavering faith that its attainment is not just possible, but inevitable. When you define your purpose with absolute clarity and energize it with the fire of your soul, you are no longer wishing. You are using the creative power of imagination as it was intended. The secret, therefore, is that the universe does not and cannot respond to ambiguity. It operates on the precise language of energy and frequency, and the clearest frequency you can broadcast is a detailed mental image saturated with congruent emotion. When your mind and heart are in perfect alignment, focused on a single, unwavering outcome, you become a powerful transmitter. You are providing the universe with the exact coordinates of the reality you wish to experience. Most people fail not because their dreams are too big, but because their imagination is too blurry, their aim too indefinite, and their emotional investment too weak. Clarity is the currency of creation. Let us use a metaphor you will understand. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful software ever created, and your conscious thoughts are the programmers. For most of your life, you have been an unconscious programmer, allowing fears, doubts, and the negative suggestions of the world to write the code that runs your life. This has resulted in a program that consistently produces results you do not want. The act of imagining in the soul is the conscious decision to sit down in the programmer's chair, delete the old, faulty lines of code, and write a new, powerful application titled Prosperity and Abundance. This is your primary work. Worrying is the misuse of this power. It is the act of using your divine imagination to meticulously program the software of failure. Every time you obsess over a potential negative outcome, you are writing and running a virus in your own system. To decree, on the other hand, is to write the code for your success. You build the program line by line with images of achievement, feelings of gratitude, and the inner certainty of completion. You then execute this program by holding it in your mind with faith, allowing it to run in the background of your life, influencing your decisions, perceptions, and attracting the opportunities aligned with its directives. So, the first mental action you must take today is to seize control of your programming terminal. You must stop being a passive recipient of whatever code the world throws at you and become the master architect of your own mental software. This requires vigilance. Whenever you catch yourself in the act of worrying, which is simply programming a negative outcome, you must consciously stop, hit the delete key on that line of thought, and then you must immediately begin writing the new code. You must begin to decree your success, to imagine with intense feeling the reality of your fulfilled desire, not as a future hope, but as a present fact. This is a fundamental shift from asking to announcing. Prayer, for many, is a petition from a place of lack. A decree is a statement of truth from a place of power. It is the aligning of your personal will with the divine will, which always desires expansion and fuller expression for you. When you decree your purpose, you are claiming your birthright as a co-creator with the universe. You are declaring that a new reality has been set in motion, and you are commanding your subconscious mind to align all its vast resources with this new, dominant directive. This act of conscious decree is the first and most vital step in applying the code of Proverbs. You must understand that your definite chief aim, imagined with feeling in your soul, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It organizes your reality around itself. It attunes your senses to notice opportunities you were previously blind to. It gives you the words to speak in crucial moments. It draws to you the people, resources, and circumstances necessary for its fulfillment. It is not magic. It is the law of cause and effect operating at the highest level of your being. The cause is the sustained, emotionally charged image in your soul. The effect is the "so is he," the inevitable manifestation of that image in your world. Take this first key and use it with intention. Your imagination is not a toy for idle amusement. It is the workshop of God, the place where all creation begins. Guard the door of this workshop fiercely. Allow nothing to be built there that you do not wish to see manifest in your life. Spend your time in this sacred space, constructing only the vision of your highest good, your noblest purpose. Make this blueprint so clear, so detailed, and so real in your mind that it becomes your dominant reality, the place where you live emotionally long before it appears physically. This is the foundation of all true and lasting wealth. Now we arrive at the second layer of the code, which concerns the great saboteur, doubt. What is doubt, and why does it hold such power over us? The passage reveals the answer. Doubt is not a message from reality telling you that your dream is impossible. Doubt is a diagnostic signal from your own mind telling you there is a conflict in your programming. It is an error message. It arises when your conscious desire for wealth and abundance is not aligned with the dominant pre-existing program you have been imagining in your soul, which is likely a program of lack, struggle, and fear. The secret is to understand that doubt is simply feedback. It is your subconscious mind, the faithful servant, showing you the conflict. It is saying, "You have given me a new command, prosperity, but my primary programming for the last 40 years has been scarcity. Which program should I run?" The feeling of doubt is the friction between these two competing directives. The external world, the "so is he," is simply the printout of whichever program has been running the longest and with the most emotional energy. Doubt is the indicator light showing you that the old software is still active and interfering with the new installation. Let us use our second metaphor. Doubt is static on the radio. Imagine your definite chief aim, your decree of prosperity, is a clear and beautiful symphony being broadcast from a powerful radio station. This is the signal of abundance, which is always being transmitted in the universe. Doubt is the static, the interference, that prevents you from hearing the music clearly. This static is generated by your old, limiting beliefs, the memories of past failures, the fears of the future, the ingrained sense of unworthiness. The static does not mean the symphony isn't playing. It simply means your receiver is not properly tuned to the correct frequency. Therefore, the mental action required is to stop treating doubt as truth. You must radically change your relationship with it. When the feeling of doubt arises, do not fight it and do not surrender to it. Instead, you must learn to observe it with detachment and say, static, thank you for this feedback. Treat it as a helpful software alert. Warning, conflicting program detected. Your job is not to argue with the alert, but to use it as a prompt to find and correct the faulty code. Ask yourself, what underlying belief is creating this static? Then, consciously and deliberately, tune your mind back to the clear frequency of your purpose. This transforms doubt from a paralyzing enemy into an invaluable ally. It becomes your personal guide in the reprogramming process. Every time you feel it, it is a perfect opportunity to reinforce your new belief system. It is a reminder to re-engage your imagination, to feel the reality of your success, and to reaffirm your decree. Instead of being thrown off course by doubt, you use its energy as a trigger to deepen your conviction. You begin to welcome it, knowing that each time you successfully override it with your new vision, you are weakening the old program and strengthening the new one. This is how mastery is achieved. Imagine a pilot flying a plane through turbulence. The turbulence is real, but it does not change the pilot's destination. The pilot does not believe the turbulence is the true state of the journey. He sees it as a temporary condition to be navigated, while keeping his focus firmly on the destination coordinates. Doubt is your mental turbulence. You must become the pilot of your mind, acknowledging the turbulence without ever accepting it as your final destination. Your hand must remain steady on the controls of your imagination, your eyes fixed on the vision of your arrival. You navigate the doubt. You don't surrender the controls to it. The law is, as he has imagined in his soul, so is he. If doubt is your dominant inner experience, then your outer experience will be one of hesitation, frustration, and blocked progress. Your reality will mirror your internal division. But if certainty becomes your dominant inner experience, even if you have to cultivate it deliberately at first, then your outer experience will begin to reflect that clarity and conviction. The world makes way for the man or woman who knows where they are going. By treating doubt as a simple error signal to be corrected, you systematically remove the division within yourself and become a unified, unstoppable creative force. So the second key is to redefine doubt. It is not a verdict. It is a diagnostic tool. It is not an impassable wall. It is a helpful signpost, pointing you directly to the limiting beliefs that need to be uprooted and replaced. When you feel its presence, do not despair. Instead, become the calm, confident programmer. Acknowledge the error report, and then calmly and deliberately reload the program of your definite purpose. Re-immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Each time you do this, you are one step closer to broadcasting a signal so pure, so clear, and so powerful that there is no static left to interfere with it. This leads us to the final and most profound layer of the code, achieving the silence of the aligned mind. This is the ultimate state of the master creator. It is a state where doubt is not merely managed or navigated, but has become entirely obsolete. It is the inner peace that comes when your conscious desire and your subconscious programming are in perfect harmonious alignment. This is not an empty mind, but a mind that is so completely filled with the vision of its purpose that there is simply no room for any contradictory thought or feeling to take root. This is the goal of all our work. The secret to achieving this silence is to understand that you cannot fight a belief with logic. You must overwrite it with a more powerful experience. This is the core of Napoleon Hill's principle of autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is the process of consciously feeding your subconscious mind a new set of beliefs and images until it accepts them as reality. The only way to silence the old program of doubt and lack is to overlay it, repeatedly and with intense emotion, with the new program of certainty and abundance, until the new program becomes your mind's default operating system. The new belief must become more familiar to your soul than your old reality. The primary tools for this deep reprogramming are meditation and affirmation. This is not passive contemplation. It is an active and focused creative process. The mental action is to set aside time each day to sit in silence, close your eyes, and construct the detailed motion picture of your life as you desire it to be. See it, feel it, hear it, and live in it as if it were already true. Feel the gratitude swelling in your chest for this magnificent reality. This is the act of manually impressing the new program onto your subconscious mind. It is the deepest form of prayer. Following this period of silent imagination, you must use affirmations, but not affirmations of hope like, "I will be wealthy." You must use affirmations of fact, from the perspective of your goal already achieved. For example, "I am so happy and grateful now that vast sums of money flow to me easily and frequently for the good of all." When you repeat this statement with feeling, especially after your meditation, you are hammering the new belief into your subconscious. You are changing the very vibration of your being, tuning yourself to the frequency of prosperity so that it has no choice but to manifest in your life. This disciplined practice is what separates the dreamer from the creator. The dreamer visits their vision occasionally. The creator lives in their vision until it becomes their physical home. This daily ritual of imagining and affirming slowly but surely rewrites the code. The old static of doubt begins to fade, not because you fought it, but because the new signal of your certainty has become overwhelmingly powerful and consistent. The symphony of abundance becomes so loud and clear in your mind that you can no longer hear the whispers of your former fears. The inner conflict ceases. This is the state of divine alignment. It is a state of inner silence and unshakable peace, because there is no longer a war being waged within you. Your entire being, conscious, subconscious, and soul, is united behind a single, definite purpose. From this state of inner coherence, your actions become inspired and effective. Your decisions become wise and intuitive. You move through the world with a quiet confidence and a magnetic power that draws to you everything you need to bring your vision into reality. You are no longer trying to make things happen. You are allowing them to happen through you. This is why we have our mantra, the ultimate expression of this entire process. I do not fight doubt. I silence it with the clarity of my purpose. The fight against doubt is a battle you can never win, because what you resist persists. The act of fighting doubt is an affirmation of its power over you. But when you turn your full attention away from the doubt and focus instead on making your purpose more vivid, more real, and more emotionally compelling, the doubt simply dissolves. It is like turning up the lights in a room. You do not need to fight the darkness. The light of your clarity simply extinguishes it. Let this be your guiding principle. Your work is not to battle negativity. Your work is to cultivate such a powerful, positive, and detailed vision of your success that it becomes the only reality your mind acknowledges. The silence that follows is not emptiness. It is the fullness of faith. It is the calm certainty of the farmer who has planted the seed and knows without question that the harvest will come. He does not dig up the seed every day to see if it is growing. He simply tends to the soil and allows the immutable law of growth to do its work. Embrace this practice with the dedication of a master craftsman learning his trade. Your mind is your instrument. Learn to play it with skill and intention. The daily discipline of imagining, feeling, and affirming your desired reality is the process of tuning your instrument to play the symphony of abundance. At first, there will be discordant notes of doubt and fear, but with consistent practice, you will achieve a state of perfect harmony, a deep inner silence from which all great creation is born. This is the ultimate promise of the code hidden in Proverbs. And so, the 3 keys to the code are now yours. First, you must decree. You must use your imagination not to worry, but to build a clear, definite, and emotionally charged blueprint of the reality you choose to create. Second, you must learn to treat doubt not as a stop sign, but as a helpful diagnostic tool, a signal to correct your inner programming and realign with your purpose. And third, you must cultivate the silence of the aligned mind through the daily, disciplined practice of impressing your new reality upon your subconscious until it becomes your unshakable default truth. This is the path of alignment. This is the path to freedom. The code has now been revealed to you. The path of alignment is clear. Now I want you to project yourself forward in time. I want you to imagine a new reality, one that begins the very moment you fully commit to this practice. Picture yourself waking up in the morning, but this time, there is no cold grip of anxiety in your stomach. Instead of a mind filled with the racing chatter of bills and deadlines, you awaken to a profound and pervading sense of peace. The first moments of your day are spent not in worry, but in quiet gratitude, with the calm and unshakable certainty that all is well, that you are supported, and that your world is unfolding in perfect, divine order. This is the feeling of a mind that has been transformed from a battlefield into a sanctuary. Your mind, which was once a chaotic generator of fear, has become a silent, powerful plant for prosperity. The immense energy you once expended fighting off doubt, wrestling with anxiety, and replaying past failures has been reclaimed. It is now harnessed and directed with laser-like focus towards the creation of your highest vision. This is the ultimate freedom, not just freedom from debt, but freedom from the tyranny of your own undisciplined thoughts. It is the peace that passes all understanding, because it is a peace that you have cultivated from within. From this place of inner stillness, you will begin to look at your future in a completely different light. The fear of the unknown, the anxiety about tomorrow will dissolve. In its place will rise a calm and joyful anticipation. You will look towards your future not as a gambler hoping for a lucky card, but as the master architect reviewing a blueprint that he himself has drawn. You will know with a certainty that transcends all logic that the magnificent structure you have designed in your soul is already under construction. The future is no longer a source of fear, but a canvas upon which your beautiful, prosperous reality is destined to appear. This inner state of knowing is the most magnetic force in the universe. It is the quiet confidence that changes how you walk, how you speak, and how you interact with the world. People will feel this certainty in you. Opportunities that were once invisible will suddenly present themselves. Solutions to long-standing problems will appear as if from nowhere. This is not a coincidence. It is the law in action. The outer world rearranges itself to match the coherence and conviction of your inner world. You cease to be a person tossed about by the waves of circumstance and become the lighthouse, the calm and steady center around which your entire reality organizes itself. This future is not a distant reward for a lifetime of struggle. It is a present possibility, a choice that is available to you right now, in this very moment. The power to activate this transformation does not lie in a change of job or a winning investment. It lies in a simple, profound, and unwavering decision to change the way you use your own mind. You now hold the key, the code that unlocks this power, but holding the key is not enough. You must consciously choose to place it in the lock and have the courage to turn it. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with this single, internal step. So here is your call to transformation. It is not a call to watch another video or to buy another book. It is a call to action within the sacred temple of your own being. Tonight, before you sleep, do not get on your knees and ask for wealth from a place of scarcity. Do not plead with the universe to solve your problems. Instead, I invite you to perform your first act as a conscious creator. Sit in silence and imagine in your soul what it feels like to already be prosperous. Feel the relief, the freedom, the joy. Embody the state of your wish fulfilled. This simple act is the first and most powerful step in rewriting your code. It is a declaration of your freedom from the old programming of lack and fear. It is you taking the pen into your own hand and beginning to write a new story for your life. Do not postpone this. Do not tell yourself you will start tomorrow. The point of power is always in the present moment. Your new life is waiting for the command of your own conviction. So I urge you, with all the sincerity of my being, begin now. Take this knowledge and make it your own through your direct experience. The journey ahead is one of the most exciting you will ever embark upon. It is the journey of discovering that you were never a victim, but always the master in waiting. It is the process of awakening to the divine creative power that resides within you. And whenever the static of the old world attempts to interfere, whenever the ghosts of old doubts reappear, you will now have your ultimate shield, your final truth, your guiding mantra. You will simply take a breath, quiet your mind, and declare with calm authority, I do not fight doubt. I silence it with the clarity of my purpose.